All right, so let's go ahead and animate our windmill and motorize it. So I did include this. This is going to be a wedge that helps us to position the motor in the correct spot. So this will be available as a free download. There should be a link in the description box below. You're going to need a motor. I also have a link to the motor used. So you will be able to get this. This is the actual, where the batteries, it's a battery pack, I guess. Let me open it and show you. So 2 CR32 batteries go in here. I like this one because it has an on and off switch. So we can turn this on and off, and we'll hook that up in a second. I have a dowel that I cut to 2.5 inches long, and I did drill a 1/8 inch hole in the center. That's based off of the size of my motor here, or the I don't know what this is called, but this piece of the motor, so it fits in there like that. So in order to get the center, I just took my ruler. Let me show you. I just took my ruler and I drew lines across it, and where the lines intersected, I determined was the center, and then I just drilled out that hole. All right, you're going to want to make this as close to center as possible, because if not, it may wobble when you put this together. So let's go ahead and start with the wedge. So we'll put this wedge together. So the easiest way to do this is it's kind of just like a box. So I've already scored everything. So we'll go ahead and add some glue here. Let me zoom you guys in just a little bit. All right. So we'll put some glue here. Fasten this. So we've got our little box going. I'm going to give that just a second to set. This is quick dry, so it should be pretty fast, but I want to make sure that this is stable before we move on. All right, I think that's good. So now basically we're just going to close up the box. So it's just as easy to apply glue to these 3 sides. Over here. And then close it up. You want all those tabs to be on the inside. Now this you can make out of any paper. Nobody's going to see this. This is going to be hidden on the inside. So we'll get this side adhered first. And then we'll go to the sides. We'll get the sides in there. Press down on your table if you need to. It's probably helpful. Much more helpful. Okay. So, see, so far so good. Now we just need to close up the bottom. Same exact thing. Put some glue on the sides. All right, now let's close this up. Again, the tabs are going on the inside, like so. There we go. And again, this does not have to look nice. This is just to get the motor in the right spot once we get it on the inside. So there we go. I'm going to push down on the sides a little bit. And there we go. So there's our little wedge. We'll use that in a second. All right. I want to call out that there's two pieces that look like this. You will need to install those before you even assemble the box. I got excited for my motorized windmill, so I forgot to put these in. There's two of these. Make sure you put these on when it's flat before you assemble. All right, so now let's go ahead and put this together. This is the top of the windmill. This is where the propeller comes out of. So I don't know if it's even called a propeller. It's a windmill. So you'll see there's two circles. One's a little higher than the other. We're going to start with the one that's higher. And I've already pre-folded my score lines. So I'm going to put glue on that tab that is the one that is higher. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue here. And these are small, so I'm going to give it a little extra second to set up. So let's see there. There you go. So I'm just giving it a few seconds to set up. All right. And now I'm taking the next one. So the next one next to that, I'm going to do the same thing with this tab. And I'll show you why we're assembling it this way in just a second. Basically, I want to assemble it so that I can still get to the inside, but we need a little bit there so that we can install the, we need it open enough to install this wedge, but I don't want it closed up completely because then we won't be able to get into it. All right, so now you should have something that looks like this. And now I'm going to fold this one under and this one under. And then we're going to take the bottom flap and we're going to glue that like that. So we're going to have a box. So the top will be open and then the right-hand side should still be open. And that'll give us enough working room in there. So I just need to glue or put glue on these bottom tabs. I'm kind of messy with my glue, but let's see. There we go. And I'm going to just make sure that is as square as possible. I'm only gluing on 2 of the 3 sides, so I'm just being extra careful that these line up perfect. And so this one I could actually lay down on my desk and push in here. Make sure that that is stable. All right. That looks good. So just make sure that if you got to this point, the one that's smaller, the hole that is lower has this thing on top. That's the back. The hole that's higher is the front. So what's important is because we're going to take our wedge that we just created and we're going to glue that in here, flat side down, and we're going to glue that in here like that. All right, just like that. And then we're going to push this up against it too. So we're going to glue it to the bottom and we're going to glue the front to this wedge. All right. I'm just going to fold back some of these tabs to give us a little bit more room to work and for you guys to see. All right, there we go. So I'm going to apply glue here. I'm going to go a little bit heavy, not too heavy because I don't want anything to warp, but all right. So I got the glue on those 2 sides, and again, flat side is going to the bottom, and we're pushing it on the, I'm trying to get this so you guys could see it. We're making sure that the bottom touches, and we're making sure that the side touches. All right, so you should have something that looks like this. All right. Perfect. All right, so let's put our motor together. The first thing before I even want to start is let's feed these wires through the back. And I've decided already that I'm going to keep this on the outside of the windmill. I played with it a little bit and it was just a little fiddly if you installed this on the inside to change the batteries and turn it off and on. So to me, I just want to go ahead and I'll put this on the back. So before we actually attach this permanently, I do have this turned on. You're going to want to see which way the motor turns, and it'll turn in different directions based on where you or which post that you install this on. So for what I mean is, if I hold this one here and that one there, I'm seeing this is turning counterclockwise, but if I turn my motor over or move the wires to the other side, now it's going clockwise. So I want to know that, so I want this to go clockwise for me. So I'm going to go ahead and hook this one to this side. Now, since I don't have a soldering iron, I am going to go ahead and just feed this through these little holes here. And then I'm going to use some hot glue just to make sure that it stays on there. Depending on your motor, I'm not sure, motors might be different. You might need to solder it to keep it in place. I'm going to turn this off because it's going to start going as soon as I do that. So I'm going to install this one, and then I'm just going to drop some hot glue on there, again, just to keep that in place. So let's feed this through. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and twist this a little bit. And now I have my hot glue over here, and I'm just using the drips that are coming from it. If they're not dripping, I'm just going to push the trigger a little bit. All right, so again, I'm just going to go ahead and put some hot glue around that just to make sure that those don't go anywhere. I'll flip it over and do the other side too. And I'm only doing the wires. I'm making sure if your motor has some gears or anything there, you definitely want to make sure that you stay away from those. This doesn't have anything back there. And it's going to look messy, but hey. And then turn it on. Perfect. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is we just need to install this with the motor poking out like this. So we just need to apply some hot glue to the bottom of this. I'm just going to put a little bit here. And again, I'm just going to install this where this is peeking out like that. I'm going to hold it for a second. Now it's up against here. All right, and so it's up against the front of the box and it's on the wedge here, so it's poking out just like that. Now we can go ahead and close up the rest of our box. Just like the assembly video, the only exception is this is going to go under now because we can't obviously fit it on the inside, but that's okay because we won't see that. So let me go ahead and do that really quickly. All right, so it looks like my camera died, so let me show you what I did. I just hot glued the dowel into the windmill, and then I'm going to go ahead and push this gently onto the motor. I'm not even going to use glue, but I am going to kind of like go back and forth. And you actually might even want to install this before you close up your box, and then you can kind of hold it and make it a little bit more stable. There you go. It's on there. And then all I'm going to do is hot glue this to the back like so, just so that you can have access to it however you like. I'm going to go ahead and just add mine here, and that's it. And there you go.